Hello everybody, and I want to bring you, a game called XCOM Enemy Unknown. I am actually pretty excited about this game. It looks really neat. It is a turn-based strategy game, and it's been a long series, but it's now getting a reboot because it's been laid to rest for a little bit. Just let it to lie on the side to get some time to get some distance between games, and I'm glad this old franchise is being brought back and given a second chance to a modern gaming audience. And I honestly feel that this is the best thing to do, is that it'll bring people to fall in love with a very, very good game, but having the great parts of what made the old game fun and enjoyable, with having the new bells and whistles of great graphics, more cinematic actions throughout the game, and best idea to give an old game a second chance for gamers to love. This is being made by Firaxis, and honestly, it follows the same basic, simple principles that the first one was: turn-based strategy. And your job is to defend your base against enemies, build it up, and upgrade your characters. And also, when you upgrade your characters, there seems to be also some visual context saying that they've been upgraded, got more powerful. You can also upgrade your gear. And honestly, it allows you to add little flares with your characters. The first thing that was done, they allow the aesthetics and the art to be kind of going together, so it's aesthetically pleasing, so there's not this the art style seems to be cartoony, and it also seems to be fitting in well each other. And honestly, that alone it's a very beautiful looking game, cartoony, cel shaded. And honestly, I am glad they're doing that, because it actually lets people to really, it doesn't allow the hardware to be strained too much, but it also allows it to look stylized and nice. And also, not only that, is that your actions you do, say you want to suppress an enemy character, it allows you to it also shows your character suppressing an enemy, so it's not saying, okay, you're suppressing the enemy. It also has these more visual cues that make it seem more like an action game, and it lets you have the strategy part for that. I love strategy games, but also it appeals to my action gaming guy who wants explosions everywhere and all this intense stuff. It also appeals to that side of me saying, ooh, I see, I'm being suppressed, or I'm suppressing someone. And it forces me to, honestly, it also reinforces the fact that there are repercussions for your actions, and you have to think of what you do. There are also four 100% confirmed classes, or at least they say there are going to be four basic classes, which would be probably your assault class, your sniper class, your support class, and probably some form of engineer that probably works with tools or something, or works in a different area. I do not know. I could not find that. I'm very sorry that I could not, but I'm glad that they are having these multiple classes for you to interact with and use and do, because it forces you to work together as a team, or you're making your units work together as a team, so you can't just muscle in with a ton of assault troopers. You have to also think on how you engage these enemies. And excuse me about these I'm trying something different this time. They also confirm that there will be, at the very end, some high-level units. They've only confirmed one that mixes a psyop soldier type of thing, where you can use some enemy powers. I couldn't even say what I was going to try to say. But also, I also believe that if they confirm this alone, just being one super character, there's probably a few more that they won't tell us, and they're going to let kind of hide in the background. Because honestly, I think that is a good idea to hide that kind of in the background, because you know what, you can give some hints here and there, but you know what, you don't want to tip your hand for everyone. Let your fan base find them, because you know what, that is kind of some of the fun of these games nowadays. And also, each character probably has a specific tech tree to go through to unlock them, or their more increased levels. And in the previous editions of the XCOM series, you were allowed to build multiple bases around the world. Now they're just saying you can only build one. You have one base of operation, and you can slowly and steadily expand it. What this means, I'm not exactly sure. There's a called the ant farm where it kind of breaks down and builds down into an underground facility, and how you connect your buildings together makes a difference. They also say, you got all these different things. They say you got a vehicle depot, a tech lab, a research facility, and what was it? CO training facility, and each of them has their own purposes. You also have refineries, and honestly, they also each of these buildings are designed to upgrade your characters and such like that. And that is a good thing that they're allowing such a diverse thing being done for their system. Perfect, because you know what? These characters need to be upgraded, so that honestly, your first time you engage it, it's like, oh my god, these guys are super powerful. Mid-level, you're kind of like on par with them, and then at the end game, you are a bunch of badass military personnel taking down these alien creatures. And there was confirms that honestly that even these facilities can also give you extra your unit special powers or upgrades or special abilities to use in class. So you can pretty much, it looks like you can beef up your beef up your characters. They also have a form of persistence that your characters pretty much, if your character dies in combat, that is it. You are not going to be able to pussyfoot and go, oh, no, I can just charge it. No, each character you have, you can lose them. You lose them permanently. You know what? That is kind of a good thing, because it forces people not to be running around like Call of Duty and just being reckless and just pretty much not taking their time to try to think things out tactically and outmaneuver the enemy character. It forces you to use tactics. One guy suppresses them, another one flanks him and shoots him, or throw down a smoke grenade to give you obscure your position so you gotta again outflank him and take him down, or you can move your sniper into a higher perch to take down the bigger characters from a different angle so you don't get run over and plowed by these enemies that you probably be outnumbered and outgunned for most of the game. And I'm glad that they used that idea. This is a great thing, a great reboot for the series. They also say that since this is a strategy game, they're also forcing you to build in like one place, and you have a radar system, and depending on how far your radar is, how much you can defend and initiate engaging the enemy, and you probably can upgrade this. And also how you can respond to these is the speed of your aircraft does make a significant difference, because if you have slow aircraft, you're not going to be able to respond in a timely manner, and it is probably going to affect your thing. They also confirm there will be multiple returning enemies, the main basic characters you've seen so far in the previous series and on these trailers. They have also confirmed that some of the old units will be acting differently and responding differently. Nothing so far that they've told, because they probably saving a lot of this for E3 to surprise people. That is also, I believe, coming out this August. But they also, some of the old characters will act in new ways. Some of the vehicles that the enemies had will be in one vehicle that's a flying disc that is impenetrable, but until it transforms into another thing, it can be engaged. And I'm glad that the missions are procedurally generated, so you won't get the same mission twice. It will always be a challenge. Each map won't play the same way twice, because the map will not be the same time twice. Missions are, as I said, procedurally generated, and they don't. So if you try to play this game again from the beginning, it won't feel like, ooh, I played this map before. And they also said our research and development is a huge focus. You only have a limited amount of time and funds to pick what you want to do. And you also have to think about where you attack and where you defend, because they said that you can say, oh, I'm going to all defend the United States, or I'm all going to defend China, or I'm all going to defend these specific regions. But the thing is, if you start defending one area and you leave an area to be damaged and hurt, you don't get as much funds, and you can eventually lose any funds from that government or that area to support your war effort against these aliens. And I'm glad they're actually forcing you to think, so you don't just try to, I'm just going to save this one area and buffalo through it. You got to think, what are the hotbeds do we have to engage immediately? What areas we can't save, and do we try to slow down the enemy to give us more time, more funds from them, or do we say, screw it, leave these guys behind because we can't save them, they'll hurt us in the long run if we try to do that? smart moves. They also said there's level up systems of your classes and units will level up. So honestly, you fight this. You got your assault class right there. You can see it blowing them to pieces. You get enough kills, they will level up, meaning stats, fast, more damage, all that. And that's great. I think great thing. But also they also get perks, so special abilities they do. So if you succeed in the mission and you level up and you don't have any deaths or a death from that character, they also get perks, so special things that give them massive boosts, not just in stats but also in abilities. And that is a great idea. So it literally forces another thing for you not to be careless and super aggressive and let your characters get killed. So if I get my men to come back, they'll get actually perks to do more damage or take 2 attacks or whatever it may be, or have used different weapons that they normally would never be able to use. And I'm glad about that, because it really makes you actually be careful and put more effort into your units. And they have base building, and honestly, your base building, they've also talked base building, that you only got one base, and that is probably a good idea to streamline it so you don't overthink and try to build too many things. They also said that beforehand, the earlier games, you could load in a ton of people and just throw them out to kick ass. Now you actually only have roughly 4 to 6 man teams, and it forces you to really think. They said that, you know what, too many people, you get too reckless. They said they felt this 4 to 6 is roughly the right match amount of people, where it forces you to think your way through, so you don't just buffalo them, steamroll them through units and numbers. You can have to think your way through it, so you can go, okay, move this man here. Okay, do we overwhelm them here and have these guys hold them off? Smart move. And they also talked about that also with the upgrading these units and these small tactics themes, that your upgrades will also have active and passive abilities, so that is another good thing. So we got passive perks and active perks, what it sounds like, and that is a good thing. And they also said that for the super hardcore audience, they have something called Iron Man mode, where they don't, where in these previous editions that they talked about, in this edition where, okay, you didn't like this movie, you could rewind, you have a rewind feature. Iron Man mode cuts it out and puts it more to the original hardcore mode, where you make a choice. That's your choice. You can't try to say, oh no, I made a mistake, let's zip behind to save myself. Nope. You stick your boots in, you move them out there, you're screwed. That is a good idea. They also talked about how this game is trying to blend the 3D aspect, and they wanted to this is a huge update and upgrade. And they also talked about how these action cams are, a lot of people are like, ooh, do we have to go with this? And they said, you know what, we made it so we didn't have to worry about that, where you can literally take out the cinematic modes, so it's just purely, okay, like a big chess game where you move your guys across. And you know what, I'm glad they're allowing that. And honestly, most of these functions are done to bring this to a new crowd, a new audience. And they also want you to focus on protecting what you can, not overstretching yourself. And they want to make it clear that you will not be getting a save everyone 100%, no damage is perfect game, because he says that's a physical impossibility, because they designed the game to make you a challenge, to make you think and pretty much understand that this is a game you have to fight and use your best strategies to save as many people as you can, and not go, oh, okay, let's just buff up my guys and we'll win everything. This is something, there are repercussions for your actions, and you may not be able to save everyone. And it is a good idea to make you think that, honestly, it is forcing you not to, oh, I get 100% completion perfect. It's going to make you think, okay, how do we save as many people with limited resources as best as we can, and how do we do it with least amount of inflicted civilian casualties and whatnot? And you know what? Man, I gotta take bigger breaths in between these things, or better planning it out. But damn it! But you know what? I'm glad that they're doing this, trying to think things through, making you think things through, not only on this instant action map where you're fighting these characters, but on the overall screen. So you gotta think, who do we save? What's the best area? And it kind of pushes you. If it's done right, it could force you to think things, difficult decisions. And you know what? I'm glad that a game that truthfully is a kind of cool, artsy style turn-based strategy game that's being brought back into the modern gaming light. I hope it does really, really well. I hope it does force people to think their actions through, not just go, ooh, okay, blow people up. They also said this is PS3, Xbox, and PC, and that these are independently developed, so it's not just like, oh, attacked on each one. It has its own team working with its control mechanics, and that the only difference is that they were just trying to figure out. There's no overarching difference between each system, and that the only difference is just the control setup, and that they said that PCs will probably have a little easier time with the setup because you're more used to a keyboard and mouse, and that they also they were trying to find the best way to use controllers, and they said they believe that they found the way to use the best controllers with this turn-based strategy action game. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you enjoy this. Please tell me what you think, and thank you, and good night. Said that